All right, boys and girls, it's Milo time. I'm going to do a series of videos on doing my Milo build. Some of the creators have already done really long streams. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to try to keep it to small, digestible videos. So the first video is going to be unboxing. So there are two of these boxes. We're going to go through them in order really quick, take a couple minutes, describe what's in all the pieces, and then that'll be the first video. Second video is probably going to be going over the printed parts, talking about heat sets, getting the heat sets in, and then we'll probably do kind of the same as some of the creators have done. We'll do a stream for like not a stream, but we'll do a video for the X, the Y, the main column, the electronics box. Again, I'm going to just make those little digestible 5-minute videos. I'm not going to make them into big productions. So here we go. Bear with me. It's going to be a one-take video. We're going to go through the unboxing. This comes in two boxes. They're both about this size. They're 90 pounds total. It's a heavy boy. I'm going to open this box up first. This has all the larger frame pieces. So let's get into it. Come here. All right, so got some filler pieces on the top here. Got this is the electronics panel. This goes under the bottom of the CNC. You got two fans, an exhaust fan, black acrylic. Next thing we've got is FMJs. So the FMJs are what go on the side of the Milo. So the Milo, it'll go like this on the side. These are strengthening plates. The stock Milo comes with a few printed parts to try to hold the whole thing together. But these are obviously a lot more beefy. LDOs including these optional pieces with their kit. They are anodized aluminum. They're really nice. Usually you would cut these in steel, but aluminum is a lot better on worldwide shipping. So that's what we got is aluminum. Totally fine. A lot better than the stock base unit. And obviously there's two of those, right? And the next thing we're going to have is rails, lead screws. LDO does thoughtfully include these. You don't need to print these with the LDO kit. These are the rail safety devices. If you take the rail cartridges off, take the cartridges off the rail, use these to keep the balls in the rail. Otherwise, you'll have a disaster. It's horrible. Believe me, I know. I would also say if you're going to be doing one of these kits, there is an alternate set of instructions by Ray that goes over putting the rails with the carts together on the unit. The stock instructions right now have you take the carts off the rail and build the whole unit with the carts and then put them back on the rail, and lots of sadness ensues. So I recommend using Ray's method and building it with the cart on the rail. You'll need to take the carts off, lubricate them, put them back on the rail, then they never leave the rail again. Let's see. So we've got X rails, longest rails. We've got Y rails, medium size. And we've got Z rails, the shortest ones. Let's see. What else do we have in here? We have lead screws. We have two longer lead screws and one small one. So this is the small one, and we got the two other longer ones here. Sorry, I'm a little off center on the video. I'll try to do better. And then over here we've got two 2040s. These are probably the side of the X table, the top table. So these go on the front and the back, I believe, of the X table. All right, we'll just lift this out. Come on, don't spill. Yes. Let's see. So the next one we have here are the this is the X and the Y pieces. Let's see what we have here. I've got this a C-beam. So if you've never seen a C-beam before, it's beams in the shape of a C. These are made popular by, I believe, Open Builds, or who made this popular, but kind of a cool shape. C-beam. I think these are all C-beams. Yeah, these are all C-beams. The way it's you'll have to do the links when you do the kit, but the way this probably works out is these four are probably for the vertical piece for the Z. Takes four beams, and then uh, you have a Y beam. One of these is a Y beam, and I'm sure about the other one. I'm trying to think what the other one is. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But anyway, yeah, those are all a box of C-beams. And then this is the 2020 is for underneath the electronics table. Electronics table is surprisingly floppy without that piece of 2020 underneath. Let's lift that out. Okay, and let's see what we have here. These are all 2020s, and these are, okay, these are all the pieces for the electronics enclosure. It's the bottom piece of the Milo. It's hollow underneath. The stock kit, you put the electronics underneath it if you're going to do that. And these are all the pieces to build those. So three top pieces and then 2 pieces for the side. And that's it for these. We'll stick these back up real quick. So now this is bothering me. Yeah, these are all C-beams. So I know 4 of these are for the Z. One of these is for the... Yeah, one of these is for the X, one of these is for the Y. I forgot. So one of these is for the X, one of these is for the Y. And then there's the X has 2 additional pieces on the sides here. I'll just jam all this back in here. Get back in there. All right. Just stick that in there. We'll move this out of the way. The second box. The second box is the same size. Hold on, bringing it over. All right. The second box is more like I guess it's all the miscellaneous smaller stuff. Not less important, just a little smaller. All right. So we'll open this up. I'm just going to go top to bottom here. So the first one you have is the cable kit. So just what it sounds like. It's an LDO kit, and kit also includes pre-done cables. So you don't have to do any crimping, wiring, anything. I have a batch 1 US kit, so they did include a spindle connector and cable. I will have to solder my own because I have a different connector. Let's adjust you a little bit. I bumped you. Okay. Let's see what else. Here's the main board. This is a Melo Fly. Let's see. This is a Melo CDY 6. So kind of a standard printer main board. The reason this particular board is with the Milo is this does contain the ESP module for Wi-Fi. You can load RepRap firmware, including the web UI, all onto this board. So it's kind of like a standard board plus everything you need to run RepRap with it. You don't have to add the ESP onto it. Otherwise, pretty standard board. It's got the upgradable. It's got the step stick slots. The drivers are elsewhere. We'll see them later. Let's see. Electronics box, or random electronics box. Power inlet, Vagos. Let's see, ferrules. These are the drivers. There's all your 2209 drivers. You've got your e-stop, very important. This is pretty cool. This is LDO. So the stock Milo kit comes with a, how do I describe it? The stock Milo kit needs a relay to turn the spindle, and doesn't need, it can do a relay to do the spindle on off. And it can also do PWM, which converts to 0 to 10 volts control. The spindle needs 0 to 10 volt control. That's the way that you turn the speed up and down on the spindle. Your printer mainboard does pulse width modulation, which is different. So this board has the relay to turn the spindle on and off. Your board can control that, and it converts 0 to 10 to PWM. And as far as I know, this is a custom piece that LDO made or had outsourced design. I don't know, but this is an LDO part. Pretty cool. The boards, the PWM, the 0 to 10 volt, are kind of finicky and a little hard to source sometimes, so it's really cool that that's included. Let's see, what else do we have here? Memory card, and then 2 fans. Bottom of the enclosure, electronics enclosure, has 2 fans. What else do we have? We got the bomb and the plate for the kit. Let's see. Safety glasses. No, I'll get them out. They're standard safety glasses. If you've ever worked at a shipyard or known anybody that has, they're the standard glasses. Power cord, and every creator who's pulled this out is like, huh, why do I need this? What? But there's a US plug as well. So there's a regular computer style D plug, and then this for some reason. Power supply, LDO. I'm used to using Meanwhile power supplies, but LDO supplies, they have a different brand of power supply. Mortenson? I don't know. It's supposedly reputable, but yeah. What to do next? Let's do the CNC starter kit. So this is basically all extras. So everything else you need to build the kit, this is like little bits and pieces that make the kit nice to use. It's just like extras that LDO's thrown in. Magnetic stand and a dial indicator, a metric dial indicator, which is kind of cool. 1, 2, 3 blocks will help you. They'll be helpful in assembling. Everyone I've seen that it's assembled one ended up using these blocks, so that's kind of handy. And then there is a set of mills, including a countersink, which is apparently a really good thing they put in here, but there's 6 different mills. There are some, I don't remember the name for these, but they're basically precision ground dowels, and they have a very specific length, and you can actually use it to measure. And then there's a couple extra collets. Again, kind of funny because I have a batch 1 kit that didn't include a spindle, so they just have the collets in there without the spindle. But anyway, yeah. And then the last thing I have in here is shims. This is something that the dev team asked LDO to put in. Apparently, when you're assembling the work table, you can shim the table up to get things perfect. Cable trays. LDO includes a couple extra cable trays. Kind of nice. Apparently, the stock kit comes with a really small cable tray in the middle, a little vestigial cable tray. This is 2 larger ones, and when I've seen these do come in handy. Let's see. Long John kit. This is one of the extras that comes in an LDO kit over a stock Milo. If you're doing a stock Milo, you have to build this separate. It's like an optional add-on. But what this is if you've ever seen one of Hartkay's sex bolt end stops, there's the sex bolt there. And then LDO has the little board that goes in it. This is equivalent. This is really similar to what a Voron does with nozzle probing. So if you've ever seen a Voron do the nozzle probe, it's basically the same thing the CNC does. It's more important on a CNC because when you put the mill into the spindle, it doesn't know how far up you've put that mill into the spindle, and you can have greatly varying offsets. So you need a way to find out what your offset from the mill, the bit to the table. You have to do that every time you change a tool or change a mill. So this does that. The machine basically runs over, it's just like a Voron. It runs over to the side and taps the little sex bolt, the little end stop in here, and can measure from that. Trying to do the easiest things first. Motor kit, pretty self-explanatory. 3 LDO NEMA 23s. These are on the short side, interestingly, but yeah, there they are. 3 motors. 3 steppers, sorry. I keep calling them motors. These are the extrusion slot covers. I won't get these out right now, but it's just basically a bunch of extrusion slot covers. If you've seen an old Creality Ender 10, it has the blue ones, the blue covers. It's like that. These are cool in the CNC world because otherwise all the chips and the junk that you're cutting goes down into all of the different slots. So this kind of helps keep the mess above level where you can clean it better. Machine plates. Oh, it's a big box. Machine plates. So there is 3 plates in here. First plate is an extra that LDO has included in their kit. When you build a Milo, the Milo comes with a basic extrusion tabletop. And then you have to either bolt stuff into those extrusions and use that, or you can build this. This is the fixated project, and I believe this is called the Continental Breakfast. It's a grid of, you're going to make me look bad, I think it's M5 holes. And they're spaced on a 20 millimeter grid so that they hit the extrusion holes in the table as well. That's why the spacing is what it is. But these are really cool. You know, a nice aluminum plate for you. Kind of like a spoil board, basically. And all of the holes are all pre-tapped, so you don't have to tap anything. So really cool. And then the 2 plates. Let's see. One of these is the XY plate, and it's this one right here. Is the XY plate. So you have the Y that goes one way, they have the X that goes the other. All the rails are facing each other in between the two, and the plate is what holds it all together. And then the Z plate goes behind the spindle. These 2 plates on a stock Milo, you're expected to print these and then bootstrap yourself. So you print these out, and then you, like, the first thing you do is you learn how to mill the aluminum plates or the metal plates, and then put those in to strengthen your machine. LDO is helping you out by bootstrapping you straight into the metal parts, which is really cool. And the last thing here, and it's good because my arms are getting tired. This thing here is the hardware box. It is just what it sounds like. It's a box full of hardware. We'll throw everything out of here real fast just so you can see. Cable chains, 3 cable chains, X, Y, and Z. Zip ties, 608 bearings for the other end of the lead screw away from the stepper. The lead screws are secured by 608 bearings on the end. Tools. LDO includes tools. Interestingly, or very cool like, they do include heat set tips as well if you have like a standard soldering iron that will accept them. So cool. Gosh, I don't know if I'm gonna pull all this out. Spider couplers. This is the type of coupler that that the Milo uses. I'm not really a fan of the plastic spider couplers, honestly, but they're compact, and Milo uses them, I think, mostly because they're compact. They're really small. So for the size, that's probably the best thing you can get. So there's a couple of those. 2020 corners, all of the heat sets, all of the fasteners, everything that you need. Here's T-nuts, all the various little screws. Lots and lots of T-nuts, lots and lots of M5s. The side plates on the Milo take almost 70 screws or bolts by themselves. 70 bolts, 70 T-nuts. So yeah, there's a lot. Here's one of the baggies. That's the 12s. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. I'm trying to see if there's what else is interesting. Here's the collars. These are the grub screw collars. I actually bought clamping collars. I'm not going to use these. I'm going to use clamping collars instead. I don't want to mess up the lead screws. Here's the nuts for the lead screws. Milo uses kind of a mechanism I haven't seen before. Uses 2 of these nuts per lead screw, and they actually tension the 2 nuts towards each other, basically so that they grip the threads in both directions. So these, if you've ever played with these on a fresh lead screw, they're kind of loose. They're kind of have a jiggle to them. So if you put 2 of these on and compress them, it takes the jiggle out, takes all of the lash out of it, makes it usable. If the CNC had that much jiggling in it, that would be bad, right? So yeah. Let's see. Is the belt for the Z. The Z is the only one that's belted. The X and the Y are direct drive. Trying to see what else. Let's see. More 608s. These are 608 flanged. So they go with the other 608s in little stacks. And that's pretty much it. There's a little piece of den rail for LDO's VFD. So I probably won't use this, but yeah. So that's pretty much it. So LDO, the batch 1 kits come without a spindle. So I did the best I could at the time and bought a spindle. I'll show that to you. So you're gonna, if you're a batch 1 customer in the US, you're gonna need one of these. If you're a batch 2 or later, so if you're getting yours late spring or summer, if you're seeing this in late spring or later in 2024, then you're gonna have a spindle with your kit, likely. But the first batch, you can choose to order it without a spindle. Or actually, batch 1 didn't come with a spindle. So I bought this one. This is a 65 millimeter spindle. I think they're actually recommending an 80 millimeter spindle now, but you want a 1.5 kilowatt is probably the right size for 120. That's what this is. If you're going to go 220, you can do 1.5 or a 2.2. And the printed spindle mounts are available in 65 millimeter or 80 millimeter. So if you get one, if you're going to be getting your own spindle, keep in mind that you have to do the solder work on this. Apparently this is a pain in the butt to get the soldering done on that. And then of course, this thing's kind of in pieces right now, but obviously your spindle has a speed control. And so this is a, an HY, I can't remember the pronunciation of the name, but it's a HY brand VFD. And I have this taken apart because I want to mount the display for the VFD on the front of the printer. So this is a modified front panel piece. Even though you may be remote controlling the spindle and setting the speed of the spindle with your electronics, you can still get an amperage readout on this even after you've converted control. So even though you might not use this knob in the enable disable, you can still get an amperage readout on this on the front of your machine. And there's just this kind of old school ribbon cable. You can order the ribbon cable as a kit. It's a display relocation kit for this VFD. And I think the last extra that I bought, I think is worthwhile to tell you about, is to use a Milo and use the Millenium OS add-on for RepRap and use all the macros. I suggest, I really do think that you need a edge finder. So this mounts into the spindle firmly, and then it has a USB output, and it's basically an end stop. It can be depressed, so it can run down on Z. You go down Z like that, and then it can also tap on the side of your part. So with the right macro or the right software, you can probe all around your part and electronically know where that part exactly is. So when you start your G code, you're starting it in the right place. Otherwise, you have to do a bunch of hanky stuff with hand jogging and pieces of paper, or turning a mill in the spindle or something like that. But I suggest that you get one of these. All right, I think that's it. I don't want to make these videos long, so that was just a simple unboxing just to show you everything that's in the kit. We'll continue these on in the future with the next one will be showing what the printed parts look like, and kind of, I'll probably print out a little picture of the Milo and show you what it's going to look like, where the parts go. And we'll talk about putting the heat sets in the parts. So we'll see you next time.